Hello, hello. Welcome yet again, sisters, to Return of the Priestess 3. This is Dawn, coming in on a chilly early morning, and the heater in my office isn't working, so please excuse the bundled look and also the bright light shining in. We have a beautiful conversation today I'm very excited to share with you. We're going to be talking about embodied leadership to birth a new earth, so very aligned with this year's theme. And before we begin, let us get ourselves connected, grounded, centered, and available for this transmission. So as always, if it's safe to do so, you can close your eyes. And I invite you to place one hand on the heart and one hand placed on the womb space. We're just going to cycle the breath a little bit to get connected with the heart and the womb. So breathing in, imagine the light pouring down from the crown and expanding into the heart. Breathing out, let that light fill the womb space, the entire pelvic bowl. Breathing in to bring the light into the heart again. Breathing out to release that light and let it expand in the womb, nourishing every cell in your feminine energy and all the organs, your reproductive centers, your energetic womb if your physical one is no longer there. Again, breathing in, breathing out to offer that light to the womb space. Beautiful. We're going to do 3 more, breathing into the womb space now. That whole pelvic bowl, bringing light into the pelvic bowl. And exhaling up the spine, letting it expand into your whole body, your heart, your limbs, down your legs, up your back, up into the head, the neck. Again, breathing into the womb. Fill the lower belly, soften the belly. Exhale, expanding upward and downward to nourish yourself with the light of creative potency and spirit embodied in form. Last one, breathing in. And exhaling. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Our guest today is Jonita D'souza, and she's going to be speaking about embodied leadership to birth a new earth, as I said, which is why I wanted to do this particular breath work to honor that. Now let me tell you a little about her, and then we'll bring her on for our conversation and energy transmission, activation, and just flow. So born in India, settled in England, Jonita D'souza, is a feminine lifestylist, an author, and the creatress of Exploring Femininity Limited. She assists modern-day busy women who struggle with burnout, overwhelm, and body love to reconnect with their feminine and sensual energies using the ancient Taoist and Tantric arts so that they can create a lifestyle that is fulfilling, nurturing, and pleasurable. Now, you may remember Jonita from last year if you were with us. Our topic is different this year. I want to tell you a little bit more about her for those of you who are new this year. Jonita is also a certified life coach, NLP practitioner, master hypnotherapist, and she combines the teachings of Indian feminine mysticism, something we don't often hear much about, and shamanism in her work, facilitating monthly moon circles, online workshops, and sacred feminine retreats. Jonita, thank you for being here. Welcome back again this year.
Thank you, Dawn. It is such a pleasure to be back and be part of this conversation. In fact, a movement. I have seen how the season 1 was, season 2, and season 3. We are talking about something that is so relevant for this current time. So I'm really grateful and excited to be here. Thank you for holding this space.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, it is an honor. Absolutely. So I've given a pretty thorough bio of you, but if you would tell us a little bit about your personal journey, how did you go from being were you raised in a very traditional Indian family? And if you were, how did you end up doing what you're doing? Or if you didn't, what was that like? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yes, I'll try to keep it short. So I was born in India, and I spent. So I was very privileged to be born in a privileged family, I would say, and it was really confusing right from the moment I was beginning to understand life in itself. Like as a young girl, when I was 10, 11, 12, and I was raised in a Christian family, so I come from a strict Christian family, and we were in a society in India which is all about gods and goddesses. Majorly 90% of Hindu religion and stuff. So for me, that was the first instance where I was intrigued by the goddess worship. And something that Christianity doesn't speak about. In fact, Christianity has no mention of any worship of any women in the Bible, what I was taught specifically. And so it was all very confusing. And I really used to envy my schoolmates, the other girls who were Hindus, that they get to celebrate, Goddess Saraswati festival, the Lakshmi Puja, and all of those ceremonies and rituals where they get to dress up. And as a Christian, I was like, oh my God, and I'm told that I'm a sinner. I need to go to the church and repent and all of that. So that was the beginning of this confusion as a girl, growing up in India at that time. And the reason I said I was from a very privileged family, I continue to be in India, because we came from very well-to-do family, and I was always told that for me as a woman to be independent in Indian society, I must make sure that I am financially capable of taking care of myself, so I don't have to depend on the man. So there I go, studying hard, academics, like most of the Indians. I became an IT engineer, and so all of that happened, but I didn't feel independent, and I would always see women in the TVs, in the Hollywood movies specifically, and I would think that women in the West were free. And I wanted to go to West because I would see them, wearing what they want, doing what they want to do, and although I had the money, I achieved a very good position at the age of 22 in an IT company. Very quickly, things unfolded very quickly for me in terms of the corporate world, and there I was making really good money, and I was still not free as a woman wanting to experience just life itself. And in fact, I became more masculine because that was safe, and that helped me to continue in my corporate life. So I had an opportunity to move to London, and I took that opportunity because I thought, okay, that's my doorway to freedom and independence, because I'm going to be in the West now. And I arrived in London, and it was really interesting observation that I met many women, and I realized that, yes, they do have different kind of freedom, but internally, they were so, like the girls and ladies that I was meeting specifically in the corporate environment specifically, they were so caught up in the rushing, in the pushing, in the looking good scenario to be successful, to be liked by the boss, to be heard. And all of that was really confusing and very opposite to my introvert character. So I was really confused. And during that time, my father passed away, and there was a series of incidents that happened in 1 year, which was one of my dark nights of the soul, where I began to question. I didn't want to go back to India because I was afraid that, my father was my biggest cheerleader, and he always encouraged me to dream big, despite what the society told. He always was like, okay, crazy, go for it. So him not being there, I felt lost coming back to India, and being in London, I just couldn't place myself anymore. So there was this question of, how do I be a woman? Doesn't matter if I'm in the East or the West. What am I supposed to do to just feel whole? Because there was a sense of incomplete sensation, void, I would say, in me, which was being numbed by my continuous busyness, alcoholic attitude, or shopping and all of that.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I had a teacher who showed up, and my journey for the divine feminine, the exploration of femininity, womanhood began through a teacher that I met in Glastonbury. And here I am right now, 10 years later, trying to combine the teachings of the East to the lifestyle of the West. And it's working for me and many other women.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for this story. You know, I'm interviewing women, as you know, all over the world. And there's so much diversity, and yet there is a thread, we can say, or a ribbon that weaves through it all. And
True.
when you ask when you ask yourself the question, how do I be a woman? I think that's one of those things. And also the sense of becoming more masculine because it's safer, because our models have been patriarchal. And I'm not trying to throw the men under the bus here. It's a construct that we've lived under that doesn't.
And women are part of that too.
Yeah, women are part of it too, and most men don't benefit from it either in the long run, because they don't get to have like an emotional life, or they haven't. So, so I feel like it's this beautiful opening up that's happened for many of us, that we came into this world with whatever our unique blueprint, our socioeconomic, political, religious circumstances were, and yet seeking and searching and going, wait, something feels off here. And it's through finding teachers and through reconnecting with our true feminine energy that we are coming into our true power. And you are a beautiful embodiment of that. So, yeah, and there's one other thing I just wanted to quickly point out, because I find it fascinating. Maybe no one else does, but you're from India, and you're from a very interesting place in India, the Andaman Islands.
Yes.
So, which are in the Indian Ocean between India and Southeast Asia, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Closer to Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize that that's part of India. So I just wanted to share that as well. I find it very interesting anyway. So we have 3 sisters from India this year, 2 from the mainland, and actually 4, because one's from the United States. So, but anyway, back to our topic here. So I said what I said because I really feel like this energy of embodiment of the feminine energy and embodiment of leadership from a feminine energetic is what is needed in women and men. So it's not about using our body to carry around a talking head anymore. It's about coming in, bringing the soul embodiment, and bringing the feminine energy, awakening it so that in a container that feels safe. So it feels safe to be feminine. And that if we don't have that, the whole birthing of a new earth is not necessarily very likely. So this is our topic for today, and I know that you have a lot to share on it, so I'm just going to kick back now and let you unfold your wisdom on this topic.
Yeah. The term leadership has been used quite a lot over the recent years in the field of spirituality as well, and specifically on like sacred feminine leadership. And what is that even? And I was facilitating sacred feminine leadership retreats in Spain and UK before I came to India, and in 2020. And I had a very profound realization, when in 2020 the world came to a halt, and I realized at the time that I need to, and because I was stuck in the islands, that my hometown. What happened to me was I understood that, okay, I have done the work on myself, and I'm sharing this work with women, and I can see things moving and things working out. And now I'm back home, and still there is a lot of work to do. After 20 years, when I come back to my childhood home, oh my goodness, a whole new dynamic of unresolved emotions and childhood trauma, and all of those things were, just shoved on my face, and the world shut down, so I couldn't even run away. And so I realized that there's not much I can do right now, but then tune into self-leadership. And with everything that is happening around the world in the ways it is happening, how can I truly, as an individual, this one woman in this tiny island that's not even in the map of the world, how can she contribute to everything that is going on around? And, we always talk about like, oh, I want to change the world and I want to do this and women leaders and all of that. But at that time, I was just so helpless. And all I could think is, what can I even do being in this Alcatraz? It just felt like separated from the rest of the world. And I did not even have internet at that time for like first 6 months. So it was a realization that I need to focus on self-leadership. And I did not know this term very much. So I started looking into and coining it out for me. And I realized that this is the key. And fast forward 2 years, look what is happening around. If we are not taking responsibility as an individual for ourselves, for who we truly are in the core of our being, and then pushing that outwards consciously, intentionally, then we can be swept into so many different directions. So for me, the self-leadership became an act of intentional act of influencing my thoughts. And this was the outward work, my thoughts, my ideas, my perspectives that suit my soul, my being, my truth, my inner self, without requiring approval from others, without the need to be right, without any apology. So sitting with that perspective, like how can I be influential on my thoughts and my ideas based on my inner core, my soul alignment? How can I influence my thoughts, ideas, and perspectives? Was quite a challenge. Then I realized that I had to now start redefining a lot of things in my life. A lot of decision making, a lot of choices, micro. And if we really look into, if we do not have this idea of intentionally influencing our thoughts, ideas, and perspectives in alignment with our soul, our truth, our essence, then there is plenty happening around to influence us.
Wow. Yeah. There's that thing. If you don't, I forgot how it goes. I'm paraphrasing here. If you don't take control of your life, someone else will.
Yeah. I think Oprah mentioned something like, if you don't have a vision, someone else. You become someone else's vision.
Yes. Yeah.
And I heard someone saying, very interesting, that caught my attention, that that people have lost their vision because they are only focused on the television.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow.
So true. So true. Wow, what a journey you've been on. I feel like at the archetypal level, certainly you are demonstrating and embodying something for us, which is that when everything locked down in 2020, we would have been served best, and many of us knew this, by going inward. And this is the feminine energy, right? Yeah. Going inward instead of trying to figure out, let me get the information, all that, all that stuff. Go inward and say, what's my truth? And how do I bring that forward? I feel like that was the invitation, potentially, in 2020. And you definitely took advantage of that. Of course, being forced without internet for 6 months, that's an interesting experience, and to see how addicted we've become to that.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. So this redefining, I mean, I've seen you bring out some really beautiful leadership experiences and embodiment experiences for women. So let's see, where else do we want to go with this? We have a little more time before the experience, before you share a process with us. What else might you share about what unfolded for you in that very feminine internal redefining?
One of the things that became really profound is the understanding of duality that we get to experience in this world. And as a person practicing self-leadership, then it became my my idea or my desire, my intention to not chase the high vibe, not be chasing like, yes, I want to feel good, I want to feel good, I want to raise higher and higher, but instead incorporate the idea of the big vibe. So understanding that we have the capacity to hold both energies. We can hold the pain and we can hold the pleasure, because life is not this or that. Life is both. And it's inclusive, it's messy, it's juicy, it's chaotic. And it's, again, being in India, there is chaos and then there is charisma and sensuality all around the place. So it's just there, and I was observing things, and I realized that we've got to build our capacity to hold bigger vibe. That is, we can feel bad about something that is happening. We can feel the hurt, the emotions, the denseness, and at the same time, we can feel into the possibility. And we really can do that. Often we get too carried away with our pain, and we forget our indefinite ability to love. This capacity to love in us is so much. If we really look into the times even when we were in love, we would just go beyond ourselves to give love to the people that we love. So we really have a very huge capacity to love, and we often forget that when we feel the pain.
Yeah.
So really, every time when I was encountering dense emotions, I stopped judging myself. I stopped judging that, oh, I've done so much work on myself. How do I still feel shame being here? How do I still feel embarrassed or fear? And I teach this to women. Oh, but there I am feeling all of it. So not judging the emotion, not judging myself, and still just holding that denseness and then holding the possibility. And it then became a really orgasmic experience, I would say, like a living orgasmic experience, that I could just feel the pain of abandonment and a lot of issues that were coming up for me. And then I could just look around to the trees and to the leaves, and I was just like, okay, all of it exists. And so this was a very big realization for me, that we can hold more. We can hold both. We can hold big vibes. And as women leaders, when we are in service, when we are holding space for others, then this is a really beautiful skill to cultivate, to hold a bigger vibe where we can be the leader, but also feel the pain in the process.
Really great wisdom here. Thank you. Again, extreme, your embodiment of the feminine wisdom is so profound. That's why I wanted you to come back again this year. And this understanding of holding the bigger vibe of the pain and the possibility, the shame and the joy of the simple things in life, and letting go of chasing the little vibes or the pleasure. It's kind of like pleasure versus happiness. In this world of duality, we have great sadness and sorrow, and we can't just, la, 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 ignore it. And at the same time, if we let the dominant narratives of drama, drama, drama pull us into polarized, raging against the machine or polarized denial of it, then we're not really. First of all, it's going to send us all over the place. But we can't really hold in that deeply. It's a mother-like. It's the great mother energy that holds all duality. Yeah. Really,
and we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in that if we just polarize.
Right. We become identified with the, as my husband says, the rage du jour, the rage of the day, or the emotion du jour, the pleasure du jour. People who spend their lives chasing pleasure, for example. Those are the idols of this world. And what we're doing here in this birthing the new earth is coming to a higher, deeper, more expanded possibility, which I feel like you've spoken to really beautifully, elegantly, and also quite precisely. So thank you.
Yeah, and I want to also add to this that I also had quite a few profound encounters with some mystics here in India, and that left me really confused, to be honest, in the sense that, when you meet those mystics, well, they are not online, they are not on social media, they're just there doing their things in far out place where you have to struggle to get to and all of that. And the moment you ask them a question, their answers are not straightforward, and the answers are mostly in parables or in stories and in feelings. So every time I was asking questions, so what is feminine to you? And the response I would get is, well, what does it feel to you in your body? Oh, great, but I am here to know your answer. and, and I was getting frustrated because I got so used to, getting answers from respected ones.
Yeah.
Like we put teachers in the pedestal and we think that they can give us the answers. And I was so frustrated that I spent such long journey and time, energy, money to get to you to not tell me this, because I could have just sat by myself and figured out. But it was a very beautiful mirror that I was shown that trust what is coming out for you. What do you feel? Because you will define it for you. I cannot define it for you.
Yeah.
And those were the kind of, like, when I asked this beautiful lady that I met, so how would you define or how would you explain Shakti? And she just giggled and she said, well, Shakti, the moment I define it changes its perspective. And I'm like, okay, great. Thanks for this answer.
Well, this is the paradox of divine truth, right? It's beyond our very limited intellect's scope of understanding. Yeah. Oh,
That is
wow.
so true.
We could really go on here, and I know you have a beautiful experience for us. So what I'd like to do now is invite you to take the floor and guide us through what you have planned for us.
Yeah. So this is a practice of creating space, creating a container through our breath. And the way I teach it and I do is each day, as I tune into my self-leadership for the day, I focus on one thing that I am saying yes to. Yeah, so it could be I'm saying yes to ease today, or I'm saying yes to creativity, or just one word that I'm saying yes to. And then also one word that I am becoming unavailable to today. So each day I'm choosing this. And for a really long time, I was saying yes to ease and unavailable to rushing, because I felt like I was rushing a lot and that was triggering me. So I would invite the women watching to feel into anything for the purpose of this guided process. And I'm going to share a breathing practice. But first, tune into one thing perhaps today that you would like to say yes to, that you would like to fill your space with, your auric field with, one word that you'd like to say yes to. And then one thing, it could be a word that you want to become unavailable to today. And the pattern of this breathing is we're going to create a box kind of breathing. So when we inhale, we are going to tune into what we are saying yes to. And then we're going to hold, and I'm going to count, I'm going to guide. And you're going to hold to maintain some tension. And then you're going to exhale to what you're becoming unavailable to. And then you're going to hold again to maintain the tension. And this tension bit is really useful, and it's equally important as the inhale, exhale, and the holding bit. And there is something called the eustress scientifically, which which is a good stress, which is the stress that is required for our body to, tap into motivation, tap into inspiration. There's this fine tension that we must be able to create within ourselves to go to the next layer of our expansion. So I think I'll have to adjust my camera so that I am more visible. Okay, I cannot go beyond this, but I can show from here. Can you hear my voice, Dawn? So I'm going to demonstrate this. Once you have determined what you are saying yes to and what you are becoming unavailable to, we're going to bring our hands, rub them, we're going to charge them. So I'm going to demonstrate the first round. Just feel the tingling. Open our palms. And take an inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to lift our palms. So inhale, you're going to think about what you're saying yes to. Inhale, and we're going to lift the palm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Palm facing outward. And you're going to push it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So see how far you can go. So it's you creating your space, you're owning your space. So we might reach out of the camera, but you know how far your hands can go. And then you're going to move your hands, palms downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, what you're becoming unavailable to. Hold, facing each other. Come back to the center. So what we did is, for the first inhale, we went up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we hold as we push out this energy as far as we can to the count of 4. And we put our palms down, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. And hold. We bring our hands back to the center. So you might not see how far my hand goes, but try to stretch it as far as you can go. So what you're doing is basically you're creating your feed, your sacred container for the day, for what you're saying yes to and what you're becoming unavailable to. Yeah, so we'll do a few rounds of it. So feeling into, you can keep your eyes open or closed, but feeling into your yes. Palms up. Inhale, lifting up. Like an offering. Hold your breath. Palms outwards. Push your hands out. As far as you can feel your field, auric field. Palms down. And exhale now, feeling into what you're becoming unavailable to. Hold, palm facing each other, bringing them back to the center of your body. Once again, palms open, facing upward. Breathing in, lifting, saying yes to, offering as this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, palms facing out, pushing it out. See how far your hands can go. Holding that breath, neither inhaling, not exhaling, simply holding in stillness. palms facing down, and exhale, applying slight force to what you're saying no to, what you're becoming unavailable to. Hold the breath, palms facing towards each other, and gently coming back to the center of the body. We'll do it 2 more times. Palms facing up, feeling into your yes, and lifting your hands in offering. Inhale. Hold your breath, hold that inhale. Palms facing outwards and pushing this out, out, out as far as your hands can reach. Palms facing down. Exhale. Feeling into what you are unavailable for. Palms facing each other. Hold your breath. Closing this container. Bringing your palms towards the center of your body. We're going to do it one last time. Feeling into what you're saying yes to. Opening your palms. Lifting your palms up. In offering. Inhale. Hold your breath, palms facing outwards, push out as far as your hands can go, holding that inhale, now palms facing down, exhale what you are no longer available for today. Bringing your palms down. Now palms facing towards each other. Hold that exhale. Bringing your palms back to the center. Into a namaste. Feeling into the energy that you have created right now in and around you. And so it is.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm going to start incorporating that into my morning devotionals. Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. I'm so excited.
That felt really good. So you have a way for women to work with you. You have an offer that you'd like to share. So please tell us about that.
Yeah. So what I want to share is this self-initiation journey into the Jedi Mastery. And the program is called Jedi Magic program. It's a 21 days of self-study program where we are going to learn into the art, the temple arts of using the jade egg. And this process is an ancient process, and it's just not for pleasure's sake, but it leads you into a step-by-step journey into connecting with your female body, with your pelvic, understanding the movements, the reflexology, the science behind vitality through this process. And then, of course, leading you to the advanced practices where you can incorporate sex magic rituals and all of that using the jade egg. So this is a beautiful course for 21 days, and you get to, this is, as I said, it's just not for pleasure and orgasm, but as in Taoism, pleasure is a part of achieving, experiencing higher levels of consciousness and vitality as well for us women. So there it is on offer for you sisters who would like to take this journey. And coming home to our body, I think, is one of the biggest steps in self-leadership we can do. It's very beginning.
Thank you. Yes, a powerful embodiment practice as well. As as you said, it's not just about pleasure. It's really activating things on many levels. So, sisters, if you resonate with Jonita's work and you feel this sense of wanting to embody your own self-leadership and work with the Jade Egg, please do take advantage of this. If you're watching this on the page during the live run of the series, the link will be right there. It's also in the email. Jonita, thank you. I'm so glad to connect with you again this year.
Yeah, me too. I'm so happy to speak with you, and you hold such beautiful space. I'm always in awe.
Oh, well, thank you. And I wish you many blessings on your self-leadership journey and all the ways that you serve and help women in the world from that tiny little island, which I hope to visit you there one day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, sisters, thank you as always for being here. I look forward to welcoming you on the next call. May you be blessed. May you be well. And we'll see you again soon. Many blessings.